My name is Jonathan Nwigwe, and the name of my speech is Post-Racial Racism. What images come to mind when I say that word? Are they images of peaceful protesters being hosed down by the police? Are they images of lynchings that occurred during the 20th century? Or how about Dylan Roof walking into a church and slaughtering 9 people on account of their race? And that last one happened in 2015. As much as you like to think, we are not in any circumstance in a post-racial era. From the years of 2013 to 2017, I witnessed many actions directed against me on account of my race. I've had my own peers call me whitey because I didn't fulfill their image of the black male. I've had my own peers say that I'm not black enough because I wasn't good at basketball. And in one instance, there was a student that had his phone out, and he had an app that when he flung his phone like that, it made a whipping noise, and he directed that towards the black people of the class. And all that happened during the Obama years. Now, when Trump got elected, there were students in my school that were screaming in the hallways, not even saying screaming, build that wall, ban Muslims, and repeating the outright bigoted rhetoric of Trump's campaign. And these were my own peers that were saying these things. So, and as recent as April 3rd of this year, there were 2 French scientists, when discussing the cure for the coronavirus, they said that the testing should be done on Africans. They said the testing should be done on Africans. Africans aren't guinea pigs, okay? My family in Nigeria, they're not guinea pigs. And all this stems from a history of racism throughout the world, and significantly racism in the United States, going back as far as slave times when the doctors would perform experiments on the slaves, all the way to the Tuskegee experiment. If you don't know about that, basically the US government had black patients with syphilis and said that they were giving them cures, but in matter of fact they weren't. They were giving them placebos, and they watched them suffer with syphilis for the remainder of their lives. And this happened for 40 years. 40 years this happened. In a study conducted by the National Academy of Sciences, they had 400 medical students, not medical doctors, medical students, and they asked them questions like, are black people's pain receptors less sensitive than white people's pain receptors? And other questions like, do black people have a more likelihood of having a stroke than white people? And on average, they concluded that the white respondents said that black people feel less pain than white people. And this is just the racism in healthcare and the medical industry. There's also racism and discrimination in the employment institution. For example, a survey conducted by the National Economic Review sent out resumes all across the country, and the resumes were the exact same thing. The only difference was that they had ethnically white sounding names like Emily and Greg, and ethnically black sounding names like Jamal and Lakeisha. And they figured out that, they concluded that Jamal and Lakeisha, ethnically black sounding names, got 30% fewer callbacks than Emily and Greg, despite the names being exactly the same. And this isn't even during employment, this is before employment. Now, during employment, a study conducted by Glassdoor concluded that 42% of employees in the United States have experienced racism. I can go on and on about how racism affects every institution, from mass incarceration to media portrayal to housing to everything about that. But the point that I'm trying to get across is that racism is still in the United States, despite Obama being elected, and people saying that there's this post-racial era society. That's just not the case. Whenever I see these videos of police shootings, like Eric Garner, when he was screaming, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe," I get choked up because he was fighting for his life, and the officer just kept on choking him, and we saw him die. And that officer was acquitted of all charges. So my point is for us to start a conversation on this, because there hasn't been a conversation on it. It takes something as simple as a social media post, like on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, Twitter, just like bring people's attention to the fact that racism is still going on. It doesn't matter that it's 2020, racism is still going on, and we have to face it head on. It doesn't matter what race you are, because it affects us all. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Go to city council meetings, town hall meetings, get involved, figure out what's going on. It can be something as small as a social media post, like I said before, or something as big as like protesting. But the point is to do something. We've come too far to just give up. We need to do something. That's the point I'm trying to make, to do something to stop this, because it's affecting everyone. These are people's lives at stake. These are people's lives at stake, okay? Thank you.